Welcome back to the GLAC Studios oil painting tutorial. We are working on a large canvas painting of Ardhanareeshwarar. This is half man, half woman, God, and it's a representation of a completion of the universe, meaning, the balance of positivity, negativity, and both the energies. Yep. Um, let's just quickly go over what we have been doing so far before we get into the course as such, the lesson as such for today. I am Gomati Sivasankaran. I'm so happy to be guiding you through this session. What we have done so far is that we started with the first layer when we found out what type of canvas to use and what type of materials and so on. And after that, we did a little bit of backtracking or sidetracking, going into the references. Then we came back to work on the canvas to do the blocking and the second layer basically. And after that, we moved on to layer 3, where we began to show slight bit of depth. And now we are moving on with the fourth layer. The last class was the first session wherein we were working on the fourth layer. What was the fourth layer all about? It was a little more into that depth. Yeah, it was creating even more depth and dimensions in the same space. So it's sort of repeating itself when you compare it to layer 3. But in layer 3, we were working with a couple of color tones. Here we saw that we are playing around with many color tonalities, and also not necessarily mixing everything on the palette. We try to see if we can introduce raw colors and blend them in as we go along on the canvas. So that is what we have been doing so far, and today's session we will continue with that, working on Shakti's side, Shakti's skin tone, and then maybe her clothing also. And when it comes to clothing, I will try to explain. I think I had also promised that I will try to explain the Indian costume that the lady is wearing, uh, for the benefit of people who might not know this or may have seen it because they have seen their friends or Indian friends or somebody wearing it. And yeah, and wondering how that goes around. Yeah, that's always there. So we might have to do a little bit of experiment with that. I have a bit of clothing also with me to show you how this really works, as an example. Yes, we will also do that along the line, and let's see how far we go on with it. So I'm going to bring this camera to the front. Okay, we start with the skin tonality, and by now I think we must be acclimatized to the idea of using yellow ochre, blending that with vermilion. So, in terms of materials, I'm not going to go over in detail. It's all very similar. And you also saw in the last session that I'm beginning to use more of zero brushes and also a micro brush that I have. So I'm not going to go over the entire material zone, but then just for whenever we go into each and every aspect of it, I will show you the colors that I use. So here I'm taking yellow ochre, and I need vermilion to get to a skin tone, and I will add white to that if I want to lighten it and so on. So I'm searching for vermilion right here. Good. We don't need too much of it. Be aware of it, because when we worked on Shiva's skin tone, we had to take a little more. There was a lot of body to cover. Here, Shakti's side is more, more of clothing, so less of skin visible. So we just have the face, neck, and the arms and the foot visible. That's it. So do take as less as is needed here. Yeah. So I'm taking brush number one, I think. Yeah. Or yeah, it, it could be around brush number two. Yes. That doesn't matter. So I'm just going to mix these two colors first for the skin tone, and I will move the camera around slightly so you get to see mhm, these two colors here. I will keep a slight bit of this darker color tone. I will not use too much of it, but I will keep it, and then I will want to add titanium white to it here to lighten it up to the level that I think is good enough for a nice skin tone color here. This is good. And we also have, yeah, our very own burnt umber and black is also here. Some titanium white is also here. So you will see me taking these colors also as we go along in some of the sections. I just want to lighten it a bit more here. I think we are ready. Taking a bit of titanium white, blending it in. I think it looks good. This color looks good. I'm just going to apply it in one tone to see. I think it looks fair enough. So I'm going to go around. Yes. So let's bring the camera closer. And I'm also closer. I'm just going to, yeah, fill a little bit around her neck area and the hand to see where things are. Okay, I think I like this color. I'm not going to do too much of work into it. I'm going to fill this color in just the way we did it for, Shiva's structure. So fill it in on the lighter areas. We already know that, so it's a little easier now. We have been through this terrain, so it's our, can we say, comfort zone or known zone at least. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to bring this slightly closer here, filling in those details, those sections wherever the lighter skin tone should go. So I'm not going to fill in fully. I'm just filling in wherever needed, and I'm going to leave the other zones alone because we are going to come back shortly with that. Yes. So I think I managed to add the color in broadly in the sections that is needed. Okay, so before we get on to other color zones and begin to do a little more of work, I will go on to pick up the burnt umber in a zero brush. Remember our good old burnt umber and black mixture. That magic is very much needed for is the eye color and eyebrows and so on. So let's do that. And when we did that for Shiva, I don't think we did the hair. I mean, if we can, we will try to manage that also for Shiva as well. Yeah. So let's see how I am placed Maybe I can move this slightly. Yes, so there's more of. Mhm. So I am trying to first draw the eyebrows. This eyebrow line is fair enough. I think I'm not going to do too much to that. That looks fair enough. And I need to make sure that my brush isn't loaded too much. Yeah. Look at the eye. And can we have the. Hmm. It is looking good, but it can be slightly better, I think. Hmm. I'm going to use my micro brush for the titanium white. There is this space in the eye that is slightly lighter, isn't it? So near the iris, you want to give that. And right now, I want to make sure that this is slightly on the upper side here. Yes. I guess this is fair enough right now. Mhm. And I want to use this for the nostrils as well to mark ever so lightly, leave it there. And what else? On this side, I just want to do a little bit of the hair. We will come back to the hair in a short while. We will focus on the skin tone first. Yeah. So right now, what we did was to add this the eye. We added the eye and also the eyebrow with the burnt umber mixed with black. Um, and right now, we are ready to give, I think, with this little bit of titanium white, we in the micro brush or the tip of the brush, we can try to give the, what do you call, the glow in the eye of both Shiva and Shakti. I just wanted to come together. That's why I waited for that to be done. So I'm just giving the glow in that eye. So right now, there is this brightness coming out. Amazing. So we are now ready to move on to the other color tonality. What was that? Uh, the yellow ochre and vermilion that we mixed. We had one color tonality that is not so, what do you call, light, isn't it? We will use that color tonality to go around, yes, on the sections where it could be slightly on the darker side. So I'm going to add that here on the side, bring it down. Also remember that, okay, that can have a little more of vermilion, I think. Uh, it's got more of yellow ochre in my case. In your case, if it is looking fine, it's good. Otherwise, blend in accordingly. A slight bit of color change would also, give another complexion altogether. So you want to be careful with it. Too much of vermilion could also turn it into what do you call a completely pinky look. And yeah, maybe I wouldn't want that for Shakti. So I'm just going over those spots again, ever so lightly. I'm not blending, I'm just going over the spots. Those spots are also appearing. Where exactly are they? Also on the nose. mm, underneath the lip, and also the jawline, and also underneath the eye. I'm wiping off my brush with a clean tissue paper wherever needed. I haven't started blending yet, but I'm just adding the color tonalities here and there to see where things are. And the same color tonality also goes on the neck. Yes, we have that darker tonality also on the neck. And remember the curves that we made for Shiva's neck. It's the same, so we need to keep that sync going. Your own brush strokes could be visible for you to identify where you want it to have in. And go back to that burnt umber um, mixed with black for one coat really close to that edge. So when you're blending, you can blend all these colors. So I'm going to use that also on the jawline here, right? So I have used that color tonality also around her jewelry and the neck area. So I have done it here. Ready to blend these colors? Can we play around? And you know how to blend these colors. So we are, yeah, good blending these colors along ever so nicely. Look at what we have done on the other side. Take it in the proportional wave. Um, as nicely as we can. And remember, we will have in this angle for Shiva, we had more of the forehead visible. For Shakti, we are going to cover it with her hair strands also a little more, which will come in a short while. Yeah, so just play it. Cool around that edge. We don't want it to too much, look like it's a broad forehead or something. Yeah. So I'm blending this ever so nicely here. Okay. That's getting blended in. I'm just going on blending in other sections as well first, and then I'll come back again for more colors and tonalities here and there. Especially on the nose, remember the scope for lighter tonalities there. Rim of the brow ridge. Blend as much as possible right now, and then we will add titanium white or black or burnt umber in places where we want to further lighten, further darken, any which ways that we would prefer. Yeah, but before that, do blend in what we have already as good as we can in the contour way, using those movements, slight little movements. Yes, this is looking good, fair enough right now. Mm, I'm going to go working on the burnt umber ivory black because I am going to use it here on the head, forehead area, bringing in some, what do you call, kind of wavy hair effect on the forehead, and also spacing for the baby hair, so it can be slightly on the side of being curly or such. Mhm. I have really stopped using the references. It's up to you. If you want to go on with the reference or such, I will come back to the reference in some cases, I think, but not in all. Yeah, I have just darkened it up a little bit, tad bit here. Looks fair enough. Gonna go around blending that in one more time. Ever so lightly blending that in, and it looks like it's from the same neck, huh? The the synchronization that you can see here. It looks good. And right now, what do we need? We have added a darker tonality. We need to add light white. So I'm going to take a bit of titanium white and put it on the forehead, on the cheek, the chin, or slightly on the neck as well. Now we are going to blend this in to bring in that light. Blend in it, let her glow ever so lightly, make her glow. And also the jaw. Nice. I think this is good enough here. We need to work a little bit on the nose as well. Remember, the tip of the nose also has a bit of what do you call lightness to it. So we want to add that. And I will use this rest of the white here. I'm going to just blend it in here. Good. And I'm going back to the nose, tip of the nose. All right. I'm just looking at how the nose, the curve of the nose is coming up. That is looking good. I'm just looking at the tip of the nose. A tad bit. It needs slight bit of that um, darker tonality coming underneath the nose, isn't it? So let's do that. Bring that in. Okay. And I'm going to take only vermilion, little bit of it, for the lip. We haven't worked on the lip in the previous session, so I'm just taking vermilion. I might add burnt umber here and there, but right now I think I will just go with vermilion to do the shading ever so lightly. And then in between the lips, yeah, there's the partition, that exactly I want it to be this burnt umber ivory black, and I'm taking it in the micro brush. So taking it in the micro brush, and I'm just going to make that shape ever so lightly, building that, and that's exactly also the line that shows the smile, the curve. in the lip. Yes. So it's a very, what do you call, minute, subtle expression that we make, but that gives that, yeah, the smile that we need. So we have it. I don't want to go overboard with the burnt umber black. I will use whatever is here already effectively to build onto that, the smile in her face. Ah, there you go. She also smiles so beautifully. Mm-hmm. So we have it. I'm going to add some more, white, titanium white as we go along because I haven't done the blending that well, I think. Can be adjusted, I feel. Mm. And this nose, tip of the nose, that's where, both the angles converge, isn't it? So the tip of the nose, I just want it to be slightly more sharper here. Right. This is fair enough. We will come back to this blending because I feel that there is to be some more blending to be done. Some places look good, some places don't. I think we will come back to the overall blending one more time. Um, yeah, we'll come back to the blending on the face and neck one more time. Let's go back to using the yellow ochre vermilion on the hands. Just moving this close to this space where the fingers are. I'm going to use the zero brush to make sure that the way I want the fingers to be clearly highlighted. So remember, there are fingers, folded and they are, hidden. The way they are holding this lotus flower, there's so much, telling in how the finger is placed. So there's that complexity. Be aware of that and use the slightly darker color wisely in the spaces needed, and then we can start blending it. Yeah, I'm using it around the contours of the hand, the arm, but you will soon see me blending them also. I will do the same thing for the other arm as well. Then we can blend them together. Remember, some of you might have used a different design or pattern of this hand. We started with a hand that was looking like a hand, open like this, palm open, but we changed it. At least I decided to change it um, because most of the images that we have traditionally in these temples are in alignment with what we have done. We will come back to that shortly. Yes. So if you could see, I have filled in these contours nicely, and I have moved down to this hand that also needs the contour to be defined properly. So we will start filling or blending them in shortly. I made a mistake here with the finger. The size is slightly bigger. I'm going to adjust that here. It's got to be another color. We will take care of that when we work on the line. Good. So I have drawn the contours, so now I'm ready to blend the colors in the hands. So I'm starting with the fingers first. Be very careful where you want to blend them in. You want it to look like darker areas and lighter areas and not like exact contours that we have drawn. As much as possible, try to blend them. And where do you want to blend the dark? Also think where the light is falling. The places where the light isn't falling are possible, um, yeah, areas where we will think of um, darker tonalities. The light is not falling, then it could be the dark tonality. Simple. Blend it as much as possible. We'll come back to blending in a short while because I guess we haven't done enough, at least in my case, I can tell, haven't done enough of blending. So I need a little more work there. I'm going to come back shortly with the face as well. So right now I'm blending in the arms. And remember slight circular movements and also movement close to the contours in the same angle as in the contour. All these things are being discussed in many great details in many of these sessions, but it really matters. So do keep an eye on that and work on every single section, blending it ever so nicely to the new skin tone here. Okay. This one looks fair enough. I'm going to move around to the other hand. Nice. Blend as much as possible. Understanding where the light and where the dark is. So I'm not mentioning much. If I have to mention again here on the arm, I'm just thinking the body creates a darkness, a shadow on the arm itself. So this section should be slightly darker. And this section is more exposed to the sunlight, could be lighter. So just keep on thinking in those lines while working. Blend it, lighten it up as much as possible. I think we are nearly there with this hand as well. Okay. do it ever so carefully. So I guess we are right now ready to add. So I'm blending this finger also here. Good. I think we are ready to add titanium white or burnt umber also to darken in sections. Can we darken first? So I'm just going to use the burnt umber mixed with ivory black. That's the darkest, real dark. In the zero brush, I haven't changed the brush. I'm going to introduce the dark tonality where exactly I'm going to blend that on the inner side of this hand. Ever so lightly, also inner side of this arm, inner side here, the side that is there are two arms on one side here. So just imagine the light, the shadow being casted because of this arm on the one behind. Keep that in view. Also the darkness on because of the sides of the arm and so on. So we have added the darker tonalities here and here, and also on the hand a little bit. So we have the darker tonality, and I'm going to add titanium white here as well. So going back to taking a little bit of titanium white, I have a little too much of titanium white here now. Yes, I'm using the titanium white on the spaces where I think it could be useful to add titanium white. A bit more here, here, coming back down on the arm. So let's start blending in things now. I'm starting with a lighter tonality and building on the palm here, creating the curvy space here. Blending ever so lightly on the fingers. Not too much. I don't want it to get too light, too what do you call bright on the finger ranges. I just want it to catch a little bit of light here. So I'm trying to do that. Not too much. On the wrist, blending in the darker tonalities as well. Remember that we don't want it to look separately. So blend them in as well once you are moving along the line. Yeah. Okay, I think I am ready to move on to the next section here. Blending in the white, lightening up the space. I need a little more white here. I can tell. Blending in the white thoroughly. See the circular movements. I just want that hand to look circular. Wiping off the excess fairness in the brush and blending in again. Yes, almost there. Gonna do the same thing on this arm as well. I think I need a little more of the white. Good. So we are ready to move slightly down here. That enough? Okay. I'm going back to the face one more time. I think I have blended it in good, but somewhere it's slightly missing, and I think I would need a little more of this fairness to add here on the forehead and also on the cheek, adding that in ever so lightly. hmm Wiping off the excess and doing the blending again. Yeah, fantastic. I think on the neck also it needed a bit of blending. Uh, Tiny bit, it does make a difference. Fair enough here. I'm using the burnt umber uh, black to create a bit of shadow in the finger ranges. So I'm going to move the camera around again just to create that impression. The shadow is missing here. Yeah, something is missing here. And I would like to keep that in the tap, in the focus point. Blend it in also nicely. We don't want it to show up like there is something, there. So we have managed fine here so far. This is also fair enough right now with the this hand. How are we blending this, the other hand? Yes, the other hand needs a bit of blending. We haven't done that. I'm starting with a darker tonality here. That is what we have done. Absolutely making sure that the colors talk to each other and just blend in with each other so nicely, so naturally, as much as possible. Yes. Let's come to the hand itself. Remember the dark that is getting created because of the body. Right. I guess it looks like it is complete here. Last but not the least, we need to work on the foot as well. Um, I'm going to use the lighter tonality first to fill in the sections. Just fill in the sections. We're not doing the nails yet, remember? So it's again going to be just similar to what we did. I'm taking the burnt umber mixed with black to go over the contours. I'm doing the contours also with the vermilion and yellow ochre range to give that depth a little bit. So it's a mixture of these two color tonalities. You take a call. You can see where do you think you want to use those colors. It's up to you how dark you want it to be, how light you want it to be. Once you have done the contouring, the filling, remember to blend them in as soon as possible while it is wet. Blend that in. Okay, we're nearly there. Okay, fantastic. So we have managed fine here as well. White, titanium white, tad bit of it on the foot, also on the finger lines. Selectively applied, not too much. We don't want it to catch too much attention, so we are giving that. Fantastic. I think we have managed fine with the blending of skin tones for the side where Shakti is. Let's take a quick look now. We can make a stop here. Okay, so let's make a stop and discuss what we have done so far. In this session, we worked on the skin tone of Shakti, just like the way we did for Shiva. I'm using my finger to blend in also in some places. So, what colors did we mix? We did um, yellow ochre and vermilion was the base for her skin tone, but we added titanium white to tone it down. We used that tone down or the lighter tone mostly. Then we added the darker tone on the sides, the contours. Then we also added burnt umber on the places where that would be possibly dark, not light, not enough light. And then we moved on also to add had bit of titanium white on the top. So we were blending and mixing all together on the canvas, just like the way using the canvas as a palette. So that's what we have done. We have marked the light and dark to a satisfactory extent here. And I think it makes sense that we will make a stop here with this, um, and um, and then we will resume the next class where the focus is on her clothing. Yeah, and let's see how that goes. So that is about Shakti's skin tone. Also, remember we are still missing few more details of the skin tone. We have added as much as possible. If we are missing few more things, we will definitely add that to the towards the layer 5. There is one thing though that we could have covered but we didn't. That is the hair of both Shiva and Shakti. Let's take that up as well when we work on the next yeah, session. Yeah, possibly on the next session. So let's do that. Yes, I think it makes good sense that we make a stop with this. As I always say, do remember to make a note of the changes that you want to make. If you have anything to change, do it slowly and steadily. There will be a lot of elements in this particular picture. You have also noticed that I'm just going back and forth and saying, hey, I missed this, missed that. So there's going to be a lot like that. So if you want to make a note of anything that you want to change, that's also a good thing to do. And one other thing that I always mention is that do not forget to share your comments, feedback, queries, thoughts on the session at support@thegladestudio.tk. Also, remember when you have some questions, it's also good to have the pictures around what you have done. So, do share the pictures as well. And when you have an image that is slightly off here and there, that is perfectly fine. Like I always mention, we are growing this image and you will see it coming along. And when I discuss the detail in every single aspect, somewhere down the lane you might have caught how to get it right, so it will fit in. But even so, if you feel that we are deliberately missing something, or the way you have done it is really away from the core of the idea, you want to have a Zoom call or a Teams call with me at a what do you call at a one-to-one level, that is also possible, provided you share a little bit more on the information and also the picture, so I can prepare and come back to you and help you out in yeah, in resolving the anomalies that might appear. Yeah, and you see me adjusting while I talk. So yeah, I'm adding a bit of the colors to make sure that the contours are nicely visible here. That's what I've been doing. So it's a work in progress. Just remember that it's never done and it's going to take a while for us to get done. And that's perfectly fine. We're just creating the shadow here while I just summarize. Otherwise, it's all the same. It's almost the same. Yes. So I have yeah, made the changes while I summarize. Thank you very much. See you in the next class. Stay blessed. Stay in the spirit. May all the positivity be with you. See you in the next class. Bye bye.